Andy and Kate, Friday, the Obama administration released guidelines urging all public schools to accommodate transgender students. But before the now controversial White House letter, the Michigan State Board of Education was already trying to comply with a similar policy to make Michigan schools safer for LGBTQ students. And I spoke to a Portage couple impacted by this issue who say they just want a safe and fair learning environment for their child. Gracie Robinson loves the shimmery pink streamers hanging from the handlebars of her bike. She looks and acts like many little girls her age. She wears Elsa-inspired sandals and as much pink as she's in the mood for.
Let's play bike race, Brendan.
There is very little to distinguish this preschooler from other girls, except for one fact. Gracie was biologically born a boy. The 4-year-old is transgender.
We were having a conversation about when you grow up, and she made a statement that when I grow up, my boy parts will fall off and everyone will know I'm a girl. And to hear that come out of your child first takes your breath away.
Jennifer and Andy Robinson were fine with their toddler's embrace of all things girly. But as their child's personality formed, they say the phase they thought she'd grow out of wasn't a phase at all.
As it became more consistent and she was more insistent about, no, I'm a girl, we started to do some research then. We were like, okay, this is maybe more than just a phase.
The Robinsons scrapped her birth name Benjamin and settled on a permanent unisex name Gracie, short for Grayson.
You know, then it's a transition, you know, just getting adjusted to it, you know, going through the errors of calling her Ben by mistake.
Next, the Robinsons contacted Portage Public Schools to prepare them for their first transgender kindergartner.
We reached out to the school and said, okay, you have a student who's coming to you who is transgender, and we're going to have to discuss some things.
That's when they met Jay Maddock, the expert who assists schools on how to prepare for trans students like Gracie.
I go into those schools and I help train the staff and the teachers on exactly what they can do to make their buildings safe and affirming for their trans students.
Maddox says trans youth may feel safe at home, but they must feel safe and included in their school hallways too.
School is the perfect place for us to teach our young people about people who are different than us.
The Robinsons became advocates on behalf of students like Gracie, speaking before the State Board of Education in support of an optional policy to allow bathroom access for transgender students matching their gender identity.
If the recommendations are adopted, we can send Gracie to school, knowing that the school will likely have policies in place to protect her.
Nobody's forcing this onto any school system anywhere in the state.
And so what you call LGBTQ, we call immoral. The Bible calls it sodomy.
This is a portion of the voluntary guidelines causing an uproar across the state. The responsibility for determining a student's gender rests with the student, and school staff should address students by their chosen name and pronouns that correspond to their gender identity. Plus, allow students to access bathrooms consistent with their gender identity. The president of the State Board of Education pushing schools to adopt these guidelines.
Kalamazoo and so many school districts that we've been working with over the years have already put in place the kind of acknowledgement, support, assistance for their gay kids to help them stay safe, to be welcomed, and to help them succeed in school.
But critics say the risk of predators exploiting the bathroom measure is too great.
I speak in opposition to this proposal that you have.
To teach my daughter that it's okay to use the restroom when a gentleman's in there, it's wrong.
The Robinsons say while it has been an adjustment, this is their journey.
This is not a road that you just choose to go down, because there's going to be a lot of, you know, things that are difficult that we have to accept and that we have to, you know, make sure we're ready to help her through. So it's very emotional to go through. You know, there's a lot of ups and downs, and you go through a lot of questioning yourselves as parents.
And no matter what the future holds for little Gracie, a parent's love and fierce commitment to protect their child is something all parents can agree on. Portage Public Schools declined to comment on camera, but they did release a statement saying the district is committed to working with students and their families to create a positive learning environment for every student. We have and will continue to work toward that goal within the federal law under Title IX and within Portage Public Schools bylaws and policies on non-discrimination and access to equal education opportunity. We understand that this is a very sensitive issue of student safety and privacy. A vote on the proposed state policy could come as early as August. As for the Robinsons, they tell me they are finalizing Gracie's state-issued identification to recognize her as female. Nikki Zizaza, News Channel 3.